Hello, today we're gonna talk about the Canon EF 24mm f2.8 IS USM. This is a lens designed for Canon full-frame DSLR cameras, but it can also work on a crop sensor where it will act like a 38mm, and it can also work with the R to EF adapter on the Canon mirrorless cameras like the Canon Canon RP and Canon R cameras. This lens was was started selling 10 years ago, and as we said, it has a maximum aperture of 1 over 2.8. It does feature image stabilization, and it has for autofocus a USM motor, so ultrasonic motor drive, which is very fast and quiet. And regarding the construction, it has 11 lenses in 9 groups. It's only 55 millimeters long and only 280 grams, so very small and very compact and light, keeping in mind this is a full frame lens, so it covers a full frame sensor. Regarding the build quality, this is not a premium lens, but it feels pretty strong and pretty good build quality. It has a metal mount. It has a front element which does not rotate, neither extend, and the focus ring turns pretty smoothly. It doesn't have a long turn, so it's only a little more than a quarter turn. About the switches, those are nice, recessed. It's not moving neither too loose, neither too stiff. And what else can you say? We're gonna test it today on a full frame camera on the Canon EOS RP, but also on this Canon EOS 250D, which is a crop sensor camera. And I will try to compare it a little with the Canon EF 35mm f2 IS USM, the one which we're filming right now on, which is the closest version to it, but which is also one stop faster, so it's the 35mm f2, and it is a bit sharper than this one and a bit lower vignetting than this one. And the test we're gonna put this lens today through are for sharpness and distortion, and also vignetting, of course. We're gonna see how good it handles this one. So let's go through the test. Now let's see how this lens handles the sharpness. So this is on the full frame camera, the EOS RP, and you can see we get good sharpness, especially in the center, straight from f2.8. Going up to f4, the corner sharpness increases further, and it's top-notch sharpness in the center. It's the same performance going up to f5.6, very good sharpness all across the frame, and it's the same story going up in the apertures. So f8, similar performance, and we shall see the same at f11, but from f11 onwards the diffraction effects come into play, and the sharpness overall, the image gets quite mild. And now let's look also on the vignetting. So the first, of course, on the EOS RP on full frame, we see heavy vignetting at f2.8, and it sticks at f4, at f5.6 also, it never really goes away. It's still visible at f8, although a little less. Now let's see this lens on a crop sensor. This is on EOS 250D. The sharpness, it's not as good on as on the full frame at f2.8, especially in the corners, but it's pretty good. Going up to f4, we see a good increase in the sharpness, especially in the corners where it lacked at f2.8. And the performance is similar. We see good sharpness at 5.6 all across the frame. Always the center, it's top notch. It's a little better, but the corners are not that far away. And it's quite the same performance up to f11. Of course, from now on we see the effects of diffractions, and f22 it's really to be avoided. And let's see how it handles the vignetting now and the distortion on the crop sensor, because usually it's better on these ones. And of course, as you can see from f2.8, the vignetting is still present, but it's much less visible, and the distortion is also a little better, so it's present, but not a huge problem. So in the end, this is a great lens, a top-notch performance in terms of sharpness. It's pretty wide used on a full-frame camera, so you get the effect, desired effect of distorting the image. And as I said, it's top-notch. It's very good in terms of sharpness, up there in the big boys league, and used on a crop sensor. This is 30 millimeters. It's still a wide lens, but of course not as wide as 24 millimeters. The vignetting and the chromatic aberrations can now be directly corrected in camera, so in body, so it's not a problem. Putting also into account that this lens is very compact and very light, and it has a very fast autofocus. It is a very recommendable lens, both for full frame cameras and I could say especially on crop sensor DSLRs. So if you like this video, please give us your support and wait for next time for the next video. Thank you. Till next time. Bye bye.